Very early in the morning. The world is asleep. So, when I wrote the book Living on Love, The Messenger, it was about the ability to send love. And that we have a larger connection and we can bring that energy in and adjust our life to create a better life with this energy we call love. I don't really know what love is. All I know is it's a feeling. Everything else, who knows? There's lots of theories, they don't matter. As time went on, everything was going really well. My life was getting better and better. And then one day, I noticed it was getting harder and harder to send out love. There seemed to be a plateau where I reached a plateau and I couldn't get past it. And no matter how much love I sent or how hard I tried, I couldn't get past. It was like it wasn't working anymore, or there was just not enough love. I couldn't put my finger on it. I tried harder and harder. I mean, my chest would ache like someone had pounded me in it. And then, although I didn't realize it, as the love ran out, that energy, my vibration dropped and I fell back down. It was not fun. I beat myself up. I said, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe my heart is too small. Maybe I crossed the line. And as I dropped lower and lower in vibration, things just get darker. As a person drops in vibration, everything gets harder and harder. And even though you're doing maybe the same job, it can be 10 times as hard compared to when you're up in vibration. Things break. You never get ahead. You always feel like you're just getting ahead and then something happens and back down you go. Well, that's how it is in lower vibration. I fell back into that. I started burning my books because I thought this is bullshit. That's how it feels in the lower vibration. Everything is just bullshit. Okay. Slowly I worked myself back up, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know how to gain this energy. Wow, this is crazy. The second this camera thing kicks on, I lose everything. Anyway, so I tried all kinds of things. I gathered energy from power spots, fed myself that way to keep up, and I managed to, get things together again, raise a bit in vibration. Took a lot of effort, and I struggled along like that, but I just couldn't get any further. It was a line. I went into a deep depression. I just couldn't take it. I was right back where I was before. Yeah, I had a little bit more money, I had more things, but inside I was back where I was before. I realized I needed to pull energy in, I needed to pull love in, but where do you get it? And so deep meditation, breathing exercises, that can get you to a point where you're pulling energy in again. But it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of energy is expended trying to be quiet, trying to sit and maintain that clarity that allows the opening for the energy to go in. And in a busy world where things have to happen now, constantly, the phone is ringing, ding, 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 all day long, that gets a little difficult. The world is different than it was 20 years ago. Things moved slower 20 years ago. Now everything goes fast. And although I was bringing in energy through those processes, the energy doesn't quite have the finesse that it needs now. It's a vibration that fits in many years ago and might work up in Tibet, where life is slow and the process is slow. But here, in this world, everything needs to move fast. So I went back into doing journeys. My journeys consist of marijuana, DMT, LSD, mushrooms. Through the process, I developed a relationship with the mushroom. Taking a journey with a mushroom is extremely difficult. Lots of things, setting, everything has to be perfect. Your mind has to be clear enough to go there. You can make 10 trips and not get the question answered. But finally, it'll come. And when it comes, it will be so clear and so perfect and so on the mark that I can't deny it. I can't even reject it. I can't say, well, I was high on mushrooms, so maybe it's not correct. It's so pure, so clean, so precise. So I want to tell you how this got started, just so you can make up your own mind of whether it's real or complete bullshit. I think you should know that. You should make up your own mind. So I went in saying, I need energy, I need more love, I need to bring it in, so otherwise I can't put it out. Numerous trips, little this, little that, nothing made sense. Eventually, one day, I had a trip. And I was brought to this place and there was monks in a circle. And they were all holding what looked like a gigantic crystal about this big in their hands, like this. And they were shaking it. But I could see there was energy being created. It was like a generator. Their hearts were kind of opening, and this crystal, what I thought was a crystal, was reacting with it. The energy was pulsing back and forth. And it sang. Not music, not vocal sounds. The crystal just sang. A vibration, a sound. It's just beautiful. That's all I can describe. And I said, yes, this is what I want. How do I do this? And instantly I'm sitting in with the other ones. And I've got this crystal in my hand, but it's not a crystal. It's a chunk of frozen ice. And underneath it is a bowl. And the ice is dripping and dripping into here. And I'm sitting there looking at what they're doing, and I'm shaking it like they are, trying to figure out, and I realize they're vibrating it. And as they're vibrating this, it is shaking the heart center right here. It's causing a reaction through the arms, through the bones perhaps, to the heart center. And if you do it just right, or if I did it just right, there was a reaction, the heart would open. And what it seemed like, what it was, is the heart center is crusted over, but there's cracks in the crust. And as the shaking, the gaps would open and the love would pour out. And it would go into the ice, into the water. And I know water absorbs prana, life energy, and I know how to put life energy into water so you can reabsorb it and get what people call a second wind. But I didn't know this whole process. How do I explain this? So I'm sitting there, shaking it, adjusting, and slowly my ice crystal started to energize and sing. Not quite as beautiful as theirs, but it was working. And I could feel my heart opening up, and I'm being fed from the inside. So this started a generating process. And now I'm absorbing this love. I'm literally absorbing it. It's going in here, back and forth. And what they were doing is it's dripping as it's melting. It's dripping into the glass, and they were using this as their food. Apparently that's all they had. That's how they were feeding themselves. That's how powerful it is. I don't know, when I'm in these journeys and I explain it, I say someone's whispering in my ear, but they're not. There's no one talking to you. You just ask a question and the knowledge just comes into my mind. It's just there. What they were doing was reaching for a feeling. Well, I don't think they were reaching for it. I think they pretty much had it down packed. But through the process, I was reaching for a feeling of being loved. Not from any particular place, just the entire existence of all. Everything was loving me. This is the only way I can explain it in words. So it's just reaching for a feeling of being loved, not of loving. That's outward. Now, I apologize for my long-windedness, but it's not so easy for me to explain this. As I'm doing this and I'm reaching for that feeling, it's energizing more and more, and I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how it's working. I don't know any of that. I just know it's working. And I'm being filled from the inside. And that deep hunger, the deep hunger we have for foods and cravings and chocolate and candy and drugs and alcohol and wine and coffee, that appears to be the craving that comes about when we lack this love. And so as I came back, the first thing I did was go up the mountain, look for a frozen stream so I can get a chunk of ice. I was looking for a stream by a power spot. I found one, because that's what I do anyway. I look for power spots. That's where I was getting my energy from to keep going. So I had drank a fair bit of water hiking there, and so now I had a bottle with me. I'm in the stream, I'm filling it, and as I'm filling it, the entity in the power spot said, "This is all you need. This is all you need." I went, "Oh, I don't need ice." They didn't have containers like this. They were just using chunks of ice, energizing it, dripping it into the cup, drinking it, and they have their life energy that they need. I thought this was amazing. This was amazing. So I'm in my room. I grow marijuana, mostly for fun, mostly for myself and for some of my friends. Yes, I have a license. Yes, I'm legal. Please get over it. I'm in my room. I'm loving every single individual leaf. I'm looking at it. I feel love for it. Okay. I do that for maybe 5 minutes. And then I reach for the feeling of being loved. That's all I was doing, reaching for the feeling of being loved. I was doing this for maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I get obsessive with things sometimes. All of a sudden, I get hit with this wave of love. It was the most amazing thing I've ever felt. It literally threw me against the back wall. Tears rolled down my face. I thought it came from the plants. And I'm sure some of it did. But there is a vibrational plane where the wave of love sit. Like right now I'm vibrating here and the waves of love are here. So if I just took a few moments and I cleared and I got into it, I would raise my vibration and I hit those waves of love. And as I can absorb them, I get fed. Now, I've been practicing it for quite a while. And I believe that with a little more practice, I can get strong enough that I can repulse those waves out. One of my dreams is to be in front of an audience, be it 10 people or 100 people, it doesn't matter, and be able to pulse that wave of love out. Because I believe that the first time you feel that wave of love, there's something that comes with it. There is a connection that comes with it. See, I'm really close to it. I can feel it. It's like washing over me. Usually when the wave hits, it doesn't matter how many I've had, they cause tears because it's from inside out. You get loved from inside out. The trick with this is the feeling. It took me over a month to actually find the feeling of being loved. I could do it mentally. I could sit there and do this. My mind is thinking, you're loved. You're loved. You're loved. Yes, you're loved. But the actual feeling isn't there. That is a whole other story. That became very frustrating. I lost my temper. I got irritated and frustrated. I'm like, what? Why can't I feel? Why can't I feel the feeling of being loved? And this caused a huge amount of frustration. It is extremely hard. But as I just kept going, I was, there's no way, man. This is bullshit. I should be able to feel loved. Just on my own. Without anyone loving me, I should be able to bring up the feeling of being loved. There's no reason not to. Finally, I was touching it. Just for a split second, I would feel it and then I would run away like a shy deer. But once I touched it, I knew I was on it. And so I just kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And when I hit the feeling, that's when this water started charging up. And then I would drink it, just like those monks drank theirs. And I could feel it and I would refill it again and I would do it again and I would get the feeling stronger. And as the feeling increased, the world around me began to change. People, things, everything changed. It began to love me. And it's a very strange thing because now you have a cashier that's giving you your coffee. But she's not just smiling and giving you your coffee. I actually would start feeling loved by the person. Small amounts, very small. Then one day, I was buying a coffee and a donut because I'm taking my dog to the dog park. I just gave her the money like this, right? And she's looking into my eyes. We're looking at each other, and she takes the money and she very slowly slides it out of my hand. And at that moment, a wave of love came. And I knew it wasn't from her, it was from the energy of money. Because I was appreciating. Appreciating is actually the doorway in. It's just as hard to truly feel a powerful feeling of appreciation is just as hard as feeling loved. But they're so very close, right? So I had already begun to practice feeling appreciation, just like this. And it's not hard to mentally do it, but to actually get the feeling so that you feel it in your body. And this is where this came in. Because when I was trying to feel the feeling of love and the feeling of appreciation, I noticed if my body was not involved with it, there was nothing. So I started jumping up and down, literally jumping up and down to try to get my body to generate the feeling. Because if the body doesn't have it, it does not exist. If the body isn't vibrating at a vibration of appreciation, that feeling is not generated. It's nothing more than a thought in the head. And this is the confusing part. We can think love and we can feel love. The thinking love is nothing. It's only when the body begins to, like a tuning fork, to vibrate at that vibration of appreciation or of being loved or of loving, either one. They're different frequencies. Again, I don't fully understand it and I don't care. I don't want to understand it. I just want to know exactly what to do. I want to know exactly how to do it. And then I want to do it and I want the results. If you want to spend half your life figuring out why, that's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole you'll never get out of. I've been there. It just spins you around. You always think you're getting the answer, but you never do. So focus only on what works. So this does the same as jumping up and down. It causes the body to get involved. Excuse me for a moment. I have to fix my candle here. Okay. So it causes the body to get involved. Right? And now, somehow, with the water, with the shaking of the heart center, with the body movement that comes with it, with this vibration, the body starts to vibrate. So, as she pulled that money out of my hand, there was a wave of love. But with it was a wave, a feeling. No, not a wave, a feeling of my own. Because as I was picking out my coffee, my donut, I was working on appreciating how lucky I am to have the whole day to do whatever I want, to have the money to buy a donut and coffee, and that I have a car and I can drive to the dog park. I was just working on just appreciating. Okay? So when she took this money, there was a wave of love, but just before, there was a huge wave of appreciation that came for me. I was very, very grateful that I had the money to buy that coffee. And that turned into the wave of love. And I was 100% positive that it came from the energy of money. And so, while I was sitting at a dog park, I'm thinking, what is money? What is money? I mean, it's a piece of paper, but I can burn this, I can throw it out, and it will not vanish. Because the government will just print some more paper to replace the energy. So then I went on numerous mushroom trips with marijuana, asking to be shown to meet the energy of money. That is another story. It would take too long to explain, and I'm not even sure if I even understand it myself. The best I can tell you is when it finally happened, and it took quite a while, I was wrapped in this energy. And it's going to make me cry just talking about it. See, as this energy wraps itself around me, with my feeling of appreciation for it, it just starts pulsing these waves of love at me. It turns out that this energy is very feminine. It is not masculine. It has been treated with a strong masculine attitude. Business suits, ties locked up. Accountants with big thick glasses. This is a she. And the second I opened to allowing myself to be loved by her, by this energy, she just wrapped herself around me, and then everything changed. But I have a different attitude. If I find a penny, this is her. Whether it's a bunch of bills or it's a penny, this is her. And if you can see the tears rolling down my cheek, this is how it feels for me. I find a penny, I take a minute, and I just love her. I appreciate. I do that through the feeling of appreciation. Look, I do exactly the same thing as with the water, as with the penny. Right? I've done this so much now that I've even done it in front of people. They just think I'm praying. This, I've seen this in many documentaries. I've seen it this way, 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 I've seen it holding all kinds of things. You can do this with food and then eat it. If you have the feeling of being loved when you do it, that will go into this food, and I apologize for saying you. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to say me and just keep it with me, because I don't know what's going to happen with you. There's no way for me to know that. I only know what happens with me and my wife, because my wife also does it. She's much better. She doesn't use drugs. She doesn't do anything of that kind. And I think she does it much better than I do. Each to their own. This is my way, this is my journey, this is how I want to walk my path. If you, please, don't do this with money until you can either reach the pure feeling of appreciation or a feeling of being loved. Because if you do this, I believe this, if you do this without the feeling, you'll just be generating the vibration that your body is already putting out over money. And if it's a scarcity, a lack of vibration, you're just going to energize it by doing it more. So you want to practice with the water, or with an apple, or with a piece of candy. I've taken this already. Money literally chases me now. Where before I would bring in money, I would pull it in, and then it would just slip through my fingers. A year ago, roughly $5 million slipped through our fingers. A few years before that, I think $500,000, $750,000 slipped through my fingers. I didn't know this, but my body had somehow accepted this as pain. So I would change the vibration of my body to bring in the money, and then as it was coming in I would kind of relax, and as I would relax my body would go back to pushing the money out, and so it would just vanish. And that was driving me crazy. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Why don't you want to stay with me? So now, as I've been doing this, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Now, as I do this, when I get money, whatever amount, if it's a check, anything, I will take time and I just do this. I hold it like this or like that. It makes no difference. It's in my hand. I just vibrate till I find the feeling of appreciation. A thank you. Thank you for this. Because you see, I can do anything I want with this. Anything. It really is a gift. And she's with me. So now as I appreciate, and then I turn to being loved by it. And oh man, that is so amazing. And you know what? This money is going to charge up, and this money is going to be in someone else's hands. And maybe they'll just be sitting there holding it, and maybe a wave of love comes over them. I don't know. There's more. There's just more. Lottery tickets. Look, you can't see them all. This book is stacked full. Lottery tickets, money. The lottery tickets are unchecked. Book is completely packed. There's probably 500 or more tickets here, unchecked. This is a whole another game. This is money. This is also money. They're kind of together. How do I explain this? This is a separate entity, a separate energy, a separate being, but it's joined with money. Just like water is water, but yet it's so much more. And so I don't know how to explain it because I don't really understand it. I can't explain what I don't understand. I just know what to do. Okay? And I appreciate this the same way as money. And I go the same direction. I love it because they're beautiful tickets. Look, they're very beautiful. They're works of art. And there's other tickets. There's the normal lottery tickets. Like this, you know. But I just spend a little time loving them. As I buy them, I love them. Then I turn to appreciation. And then I turn towards being loved by this energy. Being loved by it. And then I put them away. The money's not important. The money comes. How it comes doesn't matter. This is a whole different thing. Yeah, I will do another video on the lottery separately to try to explain something that I don't understand. I just know how to do it. So I'll do the best I can with it. And I appreciate your time. And I'm sorry it's so long-winded. So I'm going to do another video just doing this. In case you're interested, so we can kind of do it together. And perhaps you might consider trying it. I believe that standing in front of people and doing a seminar, charging people $300, that's a good way to make money. You know, you charge someone $300, 10 people, that's $3,000. 100 people, that's $30,000. It's good money, isn't it? And then you can proclaim, look how much money I make. My system works. Well, not quite. So what I sort of dream of is that not only being able to stand in front of people, grab those waves with everyone's permission, of course, and the people saying, yes, we do want it, and then take that wave and pulse it out. Because when you feel that wave, it's not just a wave of love, it's a reconnecting. It's re-empowering. The thoughts in the mind begin to change. It's I can't explain it. You have to see it for yourself. If you're going to do this, you're going to have to really set yourself down and say, okay, I'm going to do this for 6 months. I'm not going to ask for any return. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to give it all I got and just see what happens. If you go in it with that, like working out in a gym, if you're going to go and build your muscles, you're not going to get muscles the first day. You're going to hurt the first day. You're going to hurt the second day, and you're going to hurt the third day. And eventually, you just accept the pain as part of it. That's why they say no pain, no gain. This is much the same, because when you first do this, your arms will hurt, your chest area will hurt, and this whole area in here where your heart is, well, that will really hurt. But as it starts to open up and some of this love starts coming in from the inside out, oh my God, it's, oh, I apologize, I just said God. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And as it gets stronger, the connection to my higher self, the universe, I don't know what controls all this. I don't know what's behind all this, but the connection to it each time gets stronger and stronger. And there's a knowing that is opening up inside of me. I know where to go. I know when to go there. My timing is perfect. There's a sense of peace that comes about. Yesterday I was on a ski hill. I was sitting there in the snow drinking some chicken noodle soup with my dog. And the world just starts to look so beautiful. And yes, there's a lot of pain in it. But we can't force anyone else out of it. All we could do at the most is say, can you feel this wave of love? I don't know what else I can tell you. Why don't we just call it a day and you think about it. See if it means anything to you. Thank you for being here. Sometimes this sort of stuff gets a little lonely because you really want to share it and you can't. People are busy. People are busy paying their bills and struggling with their bosses, and the stuff that happens at work. But this, once you get the hang of it, you can do this in a minute in a bathroom. Take 1 extra minute in a bathroom. 10, 20 times a day, I don't care, whatever. It's really your choice. All I can say is that it works. It's beautiful. And no one can take it away from you. I don't care if you're in prison. I don't care if you're in a dungeon. You can do this with a grain of rice. It makes no difference. It works with basically everything. I don't know what else to say. So why don't I just take a minute here I mean, you can leave if you want. I'm going to take a minute, okay? I'm just going to raise myself up. Now I keep these bottles and I'm going to try to pulse a wave to you. Let's just try it, okay? Normally I keep this bottle right to the full, but I've taken a little bit out so you can hear the different vibration. Right now I'm actually listening to some music. I'm looping it. It's a piece of music that raises my vibration and energizes me. But I loop it. I don't go to another song. It just keeps looping. I'm trying to keep my conscious mind busy right now so it doesn't interfere with my conversation with you like it did the other day, like the other two videos. And as you can see, it's a little better because it's confused. It doesn't know whether it should listen to my talking or listen to what's going on in the ear. So it's kind of sort of keeping that conscious, that monkey mind a little bit on the side busy and allows me to talk a little more clearly. So I'm just going to take a minute. I'm going to see if I can bring it in. Raise the vibration. I don't even know what that means, raising vibration. Everybody uses that, so I'm just using it. I really don't know if it's real. What happens is everything just gets better, lighter. Yeah, I feel so much appreciation right now that you're even listening to this, that you're even taking the time. Maybe you felt something, maybe not. I'm just going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until I get it. It's like anything else. If you want to be a singer, you got to keep singing. If you want to be a musician, you just got to play and play and play and play. This is the same thing. Thank you.